is also upset, and when she goes out and sees her dad, she's angry. She tells him, all it took was a couple of dollars and you agreed to stay away from me. Leave me alone and stay out of my life. And she's happy slash sad about her relationship coming to an end, and the fact that she doesn't have Nadir to turn to anymore. Which, when I read that, I stopped. I was like, wait, I thought he wasn't there. I thought he didn't show affection. Like, how are you missing something that wasn't there? Ain't. But she says that she's going to take this time to rediscover herself. And I don't think it's a rediscover. I think it's just a flat out discover, because Amy doesn't know who Amy is. The only thing I think she does know is that she wants a YouTube channel to do her makeup on. That's all Amy knows. Canton has been calling Amy, but she's been ignoring him. So it's just like they friendship slash relationship, whatever it is in the wind, or shaky right now, I should say. Lena calls Nadir and is still trying to run his household, because of course Jade calls her to tell her that she been basically kicked out the house and living in an apartment. And he tells her, if you don't stop, you're not going to see your grandchildren. You're toxic. And I'm like, finally, you don't have to flat out disrespect your mama. You don't, but you got to set some ground rules and lay down the law of how your mama acts. Because that goes back. This ain't got nothing to do with this book, but just go with it. That viral video that went around, I was finna call him a boy. That boy pulling up with his mama in the front seat, and the wife just goes off. It's just like, what is this? And the wife, because I think they were actors. I don't think it was real. The wife was like putting 20 on 10, but then the mama, it's just like the mama started doing all the hands, the neck rolling, and the I'm his mama, like da 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 da, and it's just like, right, his mama, not his woman. So whatever, because people ain't gonna agree with that, and it is what it is. But it's just like, if y'all want to go by the Bible that y'all swear y'all love so much, you do honor thy mother and thy father, but once you get married, that's it. You ain't got to throw your parents to the side, but they no longer are head of. They're still important, but you just push them to the side a little bit, and you focus on your partner. But y'all wouldn't know nothing about that, the book that y'all love so much. But mama had a clap back for him. She said, you were in love with a woman who didn't love you back. That's toxic, not me. And it's just like, all right, Mama Lena, you be off of blood, girl, and it just ain't fair. And Nadir hangs up on her, which I found hilarious. It's just like, you can't take the truth, huh? Hung up on your own mama. So now he's been drinking more, getting less sleep, now that his peace is gone. And it's like, your peace was a user who just used you to get away from a situation. I hate both of y'all. It's been a week, since he done shipped her stuff out, and he getting depressed, and it's just like, I don't get y'all. But people say that too. It's just like, you have an argument, you say things you don't mean, and then you miss each other, and it's just like, I wouldn't know nothing about that. So when Ray comes into the room and asks him, how did the meeting went, he in his feelings. So he's like, am I a good husband? And she just like, okay. Basically, she could tell how it went. So she's like, yes, but there are some things you can improve on. And he gets upset. It's just like, why you ain't never said nothing? It's just like, all that attitude that you giving, that right there, that's why ain't nobody said nothing to you. So, and she says you can spend more alone time with each wife. Y'all can have group activities, like you can do things together, but y'all don't have to do everything together, which I can imagine would get irritating after a while. It's just like, I gotta spend every waking moment with y'all, like together as a group. No. Don't make them go places they don't want to go. And that's basically going back to forcing Amy to go to the dinners that she didn't want to go to, or if there's an outing, he always wanted them to be a united front. And it's just like, if I don't feel like going to this party, I ain't going. And show more affection outside of the bedroom. And he's just like, I must just be the worst husband in the world. And she's like, no, but just listen and take in what I'm saying. And he asks her how she is, because she did have a miscarriage from their second baby. And she tells him, you know, don't worry about me. And then he's like, man, you my baby, of course I'm gonna worry about you. Nadir calls Jade to see if she's ready to come home, and she's still playing the victim, still being a little brat. And he tells her, you need to stop telling my mama what's going on in our household. My household is my household. They ain't got nothing to do with my mama, and my mama ain't gonna make me do nothing that I don't want to do. Which is just like, he also tells her that Amy left, you know, like she's no longer a part of their family, and she needs to watch her words, because Amy's inability to get pregnant not only hurted her but hurted him as well. So it's just like, you keep throwing up the fact that she can't have children or couldn't have children in this time, and it's just like, you basically saying something about me as well. And so she tries to play her hand, or no, she plays her hand, and she got beat, because she says, maybe we should spend more time apart since I'm not making you happy. The second woman he done banged it on, hung up the phone on her. That's how you could tell I'm old, because I still do like this, you know, like to say banged it on her. So Amy catches up with Amir on video chat, and then she calls Canton to meet up with him, and he calls out her flakiness. It's like, you know, every time you need something, you can find my number, but besides that, I don't be hearing from you. So she heads up to his coffee shop, you know, so they can talk, and his cousins are there, and they're like looking at her truck. Now remember what I said about the cousins? They robbers / scammers. So they asking her, how much did the truck cost? $100,000. You must make a lot of bread to be able to afford that. So as soon as she heard that, it should have been over. I'd have left right back out, because I'm like, nah. And she tells them that she does YouTube, and it's just like, yeah, I heard people be making a lot of bread from YouTube, and it's just like, and as she's leaving out the store, because she talked to Canton, I meant to say that, I did that wrong. She talked to Canton, and as she's leaving out, this conversation happened. And as she leaves, one of them tells her, be safe. I'd be like, you know what? Okay. Oh, okay. Won't be back over here. So Amy meets up with her lawyer that I guess her dad did get for her. Or did she get him herself? I can't remember. Anyway, they're going to fight the charges. So Amy has Canton as a witness as to what happened, and there could possibly be a video of Lena spitting on her to justify her actions. So she calls Lena to tell her this, and she, you know, tell her she should drop the charges, which she way better than me, because I wouldn't have told her nothing. I'd have let her drag out this whole thing and embarrass the hell out of her. So she finally opens the letter from Ray, in which Ray is just declaring her innocence and telling her what happened. And she calls Ray on the phone, and Ray like literally goes into her closet, because it's that serious for her, to make sure that Jade, even though Jade ain't even staying in the house right now, to make sure that they're not hurt. So Nadir, him, Domino, and Money, what is his name? Sherman, he's out. He's more trouble than he's worth. And after he paid Amy's dad, more people came out the woodworks trying to extort money from him. So let's see. Jade's back home, and she and Nadir attempt to make up, and they're doing the bounce, and in the middle of it, she tells him, all you need is me, no one else. And he's just like, what? And so he's trying to let it go. He's trying to ignore her, but she's still like, I'm the only loyal one to you. Them other two ain't loyal. All you need is me. And it's just like he hops up. Like, you still trying to manipulate me, and you trying to make me get rid of Ray. Like, Ray been here before you. Ray, if don't nobody else go nowhere, Ray ain't going nowhere. So you still trying to manipulate me, and listen to my mama, and you gonna be out just like the other one. You can go stay with my mama, actually, since you want to listen to what she got to say so goddamn bad. And I say got. Let's get that clear. It's got. G-O-T. No games of thrones. So Canton is getting ready to hang out with Amy, and his cousins keep asking questions. They want to know if Amy is someone he really cares about, but Canton just calls her the homie. And they say less. So it's just like, it's flags. Amy, it was flags for you, and Canton, it was flags for you. You know how your cousins get down, and you really just like, nah, she cool. And then you hear say less and you don't do nothing. I'm like, all right, okay. I can't believe it. Where we at? Lena did drop the charges, so that's good for Amy. Even though, like I said, I wouldn't have told her nothing. We gonna go to court. I'll let you put on your theatrics in the court and see how that work out for you. And I wish Nadir would have said, yes, I'm sending your mama to jail. She spit on me. Fuck her. So Ray takes notice that Nadir is more quiet. He ain't going to the weekly dinners. She tells him that Lena texts her, telling her that she is disloyal and doesn't deserve Nadir. And also she notices that Lena and Jade talk several times a day, but it's always about Amy. And it's just like, people who come together only for the hate of somebody else, y'all so lame. Oh, y'all so lame. Because it's just like, yeah, we can get on the internet and say, oh, this person's whack, whatever, and just go on about our day. But y'all literally are making a friendship and talk to each other on the phone about how much y'all hate or dislike this one person. And Nadir admits that he's been struggling since Amy's been gone, but he promises to be a better husband, because it's looking like it's just gonna be just the two of us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us, you and I. Anyway, so Amy is getting out of her truck at home, and someone forces her back in. Okay, where are we at? Because I couldn't decide. Okay, my bad. I paused because I didn't know if I wanted to do a trigger warning. So it's just like, if you ever been attacked, trigger warning, not raped, just attacked. Where are we? So they unlock the door, and she can see two men in all black and ski masks getting in the truck as well. So one is getting in the passenger seat, the other one is getting in the back. And excuse me, no, I take that back. Wait a minute, I can't remember, because it's but one gets in the driver's seat and the other one gets in the passenger, and they force her in the back seat. That's how I went. Sorry, because I was like, wait, how does that go? So they tell her to go to... No, I'm missing it. Okay, I'm sorry. She is in the driver's seat. One is in the back and one is in the passenger. I got it right. Something else happens. So they tell her to go to the nearest ATM, but she doesn't know where one is because she just moved into the area. So she is slapped a few times because they think she's lying. One of them pulls out a gun, and they like GPS the nearest ATM, and they tell her to pull out as much as she can. And so they're making comments like, I know that guy you were married to set you up real nice. And Amy's just playing like, I don't know what y'all talking about. And she gets hit in the head with the gun, and she can only pull out $500. It's the ATM. They don't let you pull out like large sums of cash. And one asks, where's the money that your husband left you? And she doesn't answer, so she gets hit in the jaw with the gun. So now, she's been slapped a couple times, hit in the jaw with the gun, and hit in the head. So they plan on holding her for ransom, believing Nadir will pay to get her back. And when they got, that's where I messed up at. So when she said she didn't know where an ATM was, they forced her out of the driver's seat into the back, and the guy who was in the back jumped in the front, and then they found the ATM. And so she jumps out of the moving truck, to get away from them, and she's running with a twisted ankle, trying to get help, and she gets shot and passes out. So Nadir gets a call from Domino about Amy's Amy's attack. Okay, Erica. She's at his private facility. Domino has a private facility because that's just how they move. One of the police officers on Domino's payroll notices Amy, when they're called to the scene, and gives him a call. So when he arrives, Amy is being prepped for surgery. She got shot in her right arm. She has a concussion, and she has multiple bruises or contusions to her face. So when Amy wakes up, Nadir's right by her side. This coffee has got to be cold right now. Let me stop playing with this cup. Where we at? So he brought her back to his estate, to the guest house, and Amy repeated what happened. Nadir apologizes for leaving her on her own. Because, I think they used to have a security guard or somebody watching. So it's just like, even though they weren't together, he feels like he still should have had somebody looking after her. So he tells her, she can't go back to her home because they know where she lives and they could come back, which is true. Canton gets a call from his mom about his cousins because all of a sudden they got money. They even brought her a Chanel purse, which, Chanel ain't nobody's cheap, for me anyway, because I know y'all out here living lavish, and what's the price it is, what do that matter? But to me, a Chanel purse costs a lot of money. And they claim to have construction jobs, but the mama said, I ain't seen no boots. They don't come in here dirty. They just got money. So Cannon knows that they hit a lick, but just don't know who. And it's like, how don't you know? They asked you about your friend, asked you, did she mean anything to you? You basically said no, and they hit you with the, what's that little white boy in that video? Oh, say less. And you just don't know where they got the money from? Okay. He calls them and gives them a month to move out because he refuses to have any of their dealings come back to him or his mama. So Canton tries to get in contact with Amy and gets no response. So it's just like, once again, she's going ghost on him. But it's like, literally, she laid up somewhere trying to recuperate. So at dinner, Nadir tells tells Ray and Jade and his right hand man, which I never got his name because it's like he's there but he just played a background, about Amy's attack and the fact that she's in the guest house, getting herself together. And Ray goes straight, like she leave the table and goes straight to her, but Jade done caught an attitude and tells him he should have asked her before he brought her there. And he's like, ask you permission to bring somebody to my house? Like, no. And he needs to put her out. He should have let her die. And it's just like, Jade. Now I could see if Jade had a reason not to like her, but Jade really don't. At the most I will give her is the fact that Amy went around telling everybody but Nadir that she was unhappy, and she had the misfortune of telling Jade, and Jade just has a problem with that. But it's just like, besides that, you want her to die now just because you've been having deep conversations with the mama and you feel away now? Where are we? So of course Jade goes and calls Lena, who comes over to their house and tells Nadir that he's wrong. And Nadir don't even give her like no response. He just pulls out his phone like, Dad, come get your wife and tell her to stay out of my business. So of course, you know, as soon as they hang up, Papa Ali is calling Lena and telling her, you don't get your ass out there goddamn house and bring your ass home. Get out of people's business. And Nadir gives Jade one last warning. He's like, this is the last time I'm gonna tell you to stop telling my mama everything. And it's just like, it seems like she can't seem to get that. Whenever she ain't getting her way, she go call the mama and think the mama gonna get her son back in line. But that goes back to what I said. That's your mama, not your woman. And she can't tell that grown man what to do. So where are we? So, although Nadir thinks otherwise, he thinks that Canton set the whole thing up, you know, still to get back at him. And she doesn't believe that he was in on the attack, which I will give him that. I don't think he was either. It's like he was shady with knowing that she was sister-wise with Jade, but to set up a whole attack on her, I don't believe it. Nadir thinks they slept together, but Amy never even kissed him. It's like that night at the club they were about to, but then when he popped up, they never even kissed. So they've just been friends this whole time. So her parents arrive, like oh no, I'm skipping the part. Nadir gives her a sincere apology, you know, like after all this time. I think it's been like 3 to 4 months since everything happened. And he gives her a sincere apology for putting his hands on her. He lets her parents come on his property, which is very generous, because I would not have. I don't care that she's been shot or attacked. Y'all not coming to my house. It just is what it is. And of course, as soon as they get there, her mama starts with her BS again. And it's just like, I thought we established you don't have no room to talk. The mama tells the daddy that Fia tells Amy, like, since we want to talk about it, since you swear I'm just the worst person in the world, your daddy actually treated first. I just retaliated. So it's just like both of y'all ain't shit, and y'all just doing this tit for tat. Get out, everybody get out. She like, I got my own problems. I can't be dealing with y'all. And it's like, finally. And she tells her dad to get the message to Canton. And so she notices while staying at Nadir's place that her credit cards have been used for multiple purchases. And Ray tells her, you know, report it for fraud and they can open up an investigation. Jade walks into the room and Ray asks her, you know, like, what you doing here? And she like, this is my house, ain't it? And it's like, not really, sis. No. Where are we? So, and then she accuses Amy of setting up this attack on herself just to get back in the house. And it's just like, Ray tells her that she is turning into Lena, just delusional, crazy as I don't know what. And where is it? And she's attempting to be the HBIC, shout out to New York, but she better know her place before she is replaced. So ironically, Amy thinks Jade is weak and easily influenced. And I say ironically because it's like, really, Amy girl? Do you really want to go there? And Jade is trying so hard to intimidate her. She's like, once I tell Nadir I want you gone, you'll be transported to hospice care. And Amy's response to that is when she's fully healed, she gonna do her like she did Lena, which means she gonna whoop her ass. And Jade tells her, girl, I'll finish what the robbers didn't. And it's just like, they just do this tit for tat. Amy telling her you're a follower and a bird, which is true. And Jade tells her you're immature and have the mentality of a child, which is also true. She can't think for herself, and she has no backbone. And once again, she says you can't get pregnant, so you're no threat to me. So Amy calls her a gold digger. She says, I know that you left Canton to be with Nadir just for his money, and if Nadir ever went broke, she would just go find another man to latch on to. It's just like, checkmate. Nadir walks in 2 bags at the door. So once again, Jade plays her hand and she loses. She's packed all her stuff, telling him either she goes or I go. And Nadir says no. You know, like, I'm helping her recuperate and she needs me right now. And what I'm doing for her has nothing to do with my relationship with you. So why do you even feel threatened about her being here? So once again, she's like, me or her, leave your keys on the table. And she wasn't expecting that. She really thought that he was going to put her out. And it's just like, didn't I tell you to stop trying to manipulate me? And you still at it? So, bye. So Canton's mom calls him and tells him that he has a guest at her house. And when he pulls up, because he asked her like who it was, but she refuses to say, it's Jade. And where is we? So she claims to just want to talk, but the mama like, nah, you know that he got 2 successful businesses now, and you done with your husband, so now you trying to get up under him. And she claims that her breakup is not why she's coming around now, and he calls BS, because it's like, I ain't heard from you, I couldn't talk to you within the last 5 years, and all of a sudden you could just pop up, and now you want to talk? What you want to talk about, Jay? And she's there to tell him about Amy, that she ain't loyal, and she's right back with Nadir, so while you thinking about her, she ain't thinking about you. And he can tell that it ain't nothing but jealousy. And it's just like, she just goes on and on about how she ain't solid, and you know, like, you shouldn't really care about her. And it's just like, but why do you care, sis? You got your man, you got your rich man, why are you worried about what I'm doing? So Jay asks for his number, and she tells him no. I mean, he tells her no. And she just insists on giving him her number, saying he can call and text her at any time. And it works. It works. And it's just like, you really want this woman who left you at the drop of a hat because you still, quote unquote, love her? What is there to love about her? And Mama Canton can see it, because I don't think they gave her name, or I just didn't care, because it's just like, trying to remember all these names in these books ain't gonna do it. So Mama Canton, she's just like, you finna get sucked right back in with her, and I'm just so sorry for you, son. Amy is doing some work when Nadir comes in, and she asks him will he be looking for another wife, and he says no, I'm done with that, we good. So he got her a new place with a guard. She going to physical therapy. He gonna take care of that. And after her session, she goes to Canton's coffee shop, you know, to talk to him. And he's texting Jade when Amy walks in. And once again, he immediately reading her like, I didn't know what happened to you. You still only coming around when it seems like you need something. She could have called, text, and he's also upset about her going back to Nadir. And her response is, I like how you have turned this whole nightmare I had to endure about you. Which, in this instance, she's right, but all the other times, he was right. It's just like, I try to call you and talk to you, I can't get through to you. It wasn't until you left your man I heard from you and helped you get away from him. And it wasn't until you went to jail that I heard from you. And then, once again, and I can see it from his point of view. It's just like, once again, here you are just popping up out of nowhere, you know, just randomly. And it's just like, what am I supposed to do with this? But he tries to apologize because it's just like, it was a horrible thing that happened to her. And he also did get word from her dad about what happened and how I think she wouldn't be able to get in contact with him. So as he tries to apologize, she don't want to hear. She's just like, you know what, whatever. And as she's leaving, Canton's cousins are coming in, and they speak to her. She really don't pay no attention, but then like as they start talking amongst themselves, she recognized their voices. It's the two that attacked her, and she looks at them and in like horror, and then runs out, but Kenton catches it and runs out after her. So asking her what's wrong, and she asks him like, were you in on it? Did you do this to me? And you know, it clicks for him that it's his cousins, but he's holding on to her, like refusing to let her call the police, and saying, let me handle it. And it's just like, what did she tell him? I thought, boy, fuck you, give me my phone. And it's just like, you shouldn't have said nothing to him. It's like, as soon as you rushed out the door and he like, what's wrong? I'm like, get off me, just get off. We have no words for each other. Get off me. We ain't gotta talk no more, nothing. But it's like, you tell him that it's his cousins that did it, and you tell him that you're gonna call the police. Of course he not gonna let you go nowhere, girl. So he he believes that they did it, and he knows that they did it, but that's his family, and they can't go to jail. And I want to know why not. Why can't your family go to jail? It's like, if they stupid enough to get caught, like they didn't try to disguise their voices, nothing, and they just out walking around like they did not do this. It's like, if you gonna be robbers and scammers, at least be smart about it. I hate fake criminals, or like fake thugs, whatever you want to call it. Cause like, if you gonna be about that life, be about that life and move the smart way. She said, fine, I won't tell the cops, I'll just tell Nadir. And he takes his cousins and lay low because he knows that Nadir is going to come after them. So it's just like, you told them that they had to move out so this won't come back to you or your mama, but then you take them and like basically run away with them. So anyway, Amy did what she said. She told Nadir what happened. And like I said, he said, you shouldn't say nothing. You should have played it off and then came to me. Now, he done told his cousins, and they probably done ran off somewhere, which is exactly what happened. So then he gets a call from Jade saying that somebody wants to talk to him. It's Canton, and he's swearing that he has proof that he had no involvement with it whatsoever. So when he's talking to his cousins, like, you know, why would y'all do something like this? And they show no remorse. They ain't paying him no attention. He changed his mind on helping them out. And he's like, you know what? I ain't going down for y'all, so I'm out. In the meeting, he plays the clip of him confronting his cousins. And they admit to doing it and not thinking about him or his relationship to Amy. So he gives Nadir the address to where his cousins are. And he asks how Amy is doing. But Nadir tells him, don't even think about her. Don't say her name. Don't think her name. Don't think about her face. As far as you know, Amy no longer exists. So Nadir takes her out for dinner. It's just them two talking, having a conversation, and he asked to accompany her on a trip to LA for a beauty event that she's going to, you know, because of her YouTube, and she's a beauty influencer. So she says, yeah. Jade wants to pick up where they left off with Canton, and Canton tells her, no, that was, oh, so I was right. So that was 5 years ago. I don't know you anymore, but it's like, you do know. You know exactly who she is. She's not trustworthy. She ain't loyal, and she's a gold digger. It's like, there's a possibility that as soon as she finds somebody else with as much money as Nadir, or possibly even more, or probably even a little bit less, she could leave you again. Because even though he has 2 successful businesses, he ain't pulling in the type of money Nadir is. Nadir works for a software company, his dad's software company, and he moving guns, buying and selling guns. Ain't nobody got money like him. But not anyway, because I was about to say something else. So at the event, Nadir sees like how quote unquote famous she is, because a lot of girls ran up to her wanting to talk to her at the event. So after the event, she walks to her suite to see flowers placed everywhere with cards. And this is my little hopeless romantic heart, because it was so cute. The flowers, like with the little cards in them. One said, "You're still my peace." Another one said, "I'm so proud of you. I love the woman you have became. I will always protect you. I'm sorry for being an asshole in the class. Please don't ever dye your hair." Because she thought of dyeing her hair. And I told y'all she was a ginger. So he's like, please don't do that. So Nadir, he's knocking at the door after she sees all the flowers, reads all the cards. And he tells her that he can't let her go. And they both agree to take things slower this time and grow together and get to know each other. So when he gets home, he's waiting on Ray to return to her trip. I believe, where's Ray from? I cannot remember, but she went to visit her family and took the boys. And so as soon as she gets back, she's like, tell me all about it. What happened? Are y'all back together? Like, she's excited for it. And he's like, no, we just taking it slow. We cool. We chill. And you had sex with her, did you? And it's just like, I love this so much, because it's just like, those are the best type of relationships where there's no jealousy and she's genuinely happy for him and wants Amy to come back. So Nadir tells her that he's gonna try, because Ray just flat out like, I want Amy back home with us. And he's like, I'm gonna try, but if she decides not to, then it's just them. There's no new people being added to their family. If Amy's done, it's just Nadir and Ray then. And so we have our final chapter, which is a year later, and Amir is officially home and done with, I believe it was the Navy. And he's coming home to Amy's gender reveal. That's right, our girl is pregnant. The colors aren't the typical blue and pink, but yellow and green. Yellow is for the girl, and green is for the boy. And Amy and Nadir got married again. And Nadir hired professionals. Of course, he got to do it big. But they shot fireworks into the sky. And the color is yellow. So they have 2 boys and 1 girl. And that is the end of our story. And I was kind of happy with how it went, but then I also wasn't, because I kind of wanted to see, I feel like it could have been a 3rd book. I wanted to see how they made their way back to each other, how they decided to get married. Well, I don't need to know how she got pregnant, but I kind of wanted to read it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, so that's part 2, the finale of The Black Effect, and some of the ups and downs that can happen in a polygamy relationship. And I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video.